Alright guys, welcome to episode 5. We're going to talk about news around the league in the past week, our standout players of the week, and have you guys seen the new shot clock? We're going to talk about some things that we want to see during live NBA games and the downfall of the Warriors.
And remember, kids, trust the process.
Alright guys, episode 5, we're recording.
Fucking 5 episodes already, man. That's crazy.
So let's get around with the news in the league. So something I want to talk about before we started recording, it seems to be like a lot of drama in the league about Kawhi Leonard from the Clippers not playing in back-to-back games. They're saying that, I saw a lot of people saying that he was kind of abusing the NBA's health policy, absentee policy. I don't really know like the technical term for it, but apparently the Clippers organization says that under the NBA rules, Kawhi Leonard is listed as an unhealthy player, and he's allowed to not play in back-to-back games in any back-to-back games. So what do you think about that?
Honestly, dude, he knows what he's doing. Like, the league just needs to fuck off. And we saw, I wrote about this and like not too long ago. Kawhi knows his body more than anyone else. Obviously, if he couldn't go onto the court and play a full game, then fine. If this guy had a torn Achilles, whatever, let him be. But he knows how to handle his body. I saw it in action during the finals. He knows when to turn on the jets. I'm not really worried about it, and I think that's just a stupid rule for them to get on Kawhi for something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not the NBA getting on him. It's, but from what I've seen, it's just a lot of people on Twitter. But
Then is it really important?
True. But I don't know, I saw it, like, it was kind of like trending today, so I was just looking into it, and I thought I would like to mention it during the news and stuff. But I don't know, it's a really weird situation.
It's just people finding a way to stop Kawhi.
Yeah.
It's just hater movement. That's all it is.
So, and also in good news, Paul George is going to be coming back soon. We've already gone through a couple.
I'm excited for that, man.
Yeah, man. Depending on the team, each team has played around 6 to 8 games already. So Paul George is set to return after the 10th game for the Clippers. So that's gonna be fun too. In other news around the league, the Atlanta Hawks, John Collins was actually just suspended for 25 games for violating the anti-drug policy.
He was on that Xanax, bro.
So he got caught on that. And yeah, he's missing the next 25 games. For the Lakers, some rumors kind of surfaced that the Lakers haven't actually closed the door on DeMarcus Cousins returning this year. So I don't know how it's gonna play out. I thought he was gonna have more of a force for the Warriors last year in the playoffs, but now with him injuring his leg again and seeing how he came back from last year's injury, not being 100% already, got injured again. I don't know how it's going to play out for the Lakers. I don't know if it's going to be an asset. I don't know if it's going to necessarily be a negative, but I don't know.
It's kind of neutral. I don't see it as either a really good thing or a really bad thing. Dwight's been proving his worth, and they still have a whole season to go. But DeMarcus, I just feel like if he were to come back, cool, and if he doesn't come back, I don't think it's that big of a deal for this team.
Yeah. So next up, the Indiana Pacers. Miles Turner is out for 2 to 3 weeks with a sprained ankle. And Edmund Sumner will be reevaluated in 3 weeks with a displaced fracture in the hand. So they lost 2 players right there in the span of a week.
Yeah, Miles Turner is a really big piece for that team. I think he's the heart and soul of that team without a doubt.
Yeah, I remember when he got drafted, and he was, I believe that Hibbert was still there, so he was his backup.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember him being like, I really liked his style of play and his personality or his charisma on the court.
So he's a really gritty player, and I salute him, and he has a speedy recovery, going forward into the future.
Yeah, and Edmund Sumner too. He has a displaced fracture in the hand, out for 3 weeks. Going to the Pistons, Reggie Jackson. Last week we mentioned that his sister had died, and now in other news with him, he's going to be out for 4 weeks with a stress reaction in his lower back.
Damn.
So that's that's a guaranteed missing play time for a month. Going up north to the Raptors, Pat McCaw is going to be out for several weeks after having surgery on his left knee. So that's a really big, not really big, but it's a pretty
It's just
decent
an asset
loss.
off the bench that they're
Yeah.
gonna miss. He's a really good guy coming off the bench, and it's unfortunate, especially with the Raptors. A lot of people don't see them competing as much this year, considering they lost Kawhi. But I really believe in them, and I think him missing time will kind of affect the team, but they'll adjust. They'll be fine.
And in some of the biggest news in the past week, the Golden State Warriors lost Stephen Curry for the next. The time frame is TBA, but it's going to be at least 3 months because he had a fracture in his hand, and Draymond Green is going to miss the next couple of games due to a ligament issue in his hand. They're guaranteeing that it's not a long-term thing. It's not a nagging injury. It's just something that he's going to be out for a couple of games for. And I also saw in the news and some rumors that, well, I think it was actually from the staff from the Warriors, that they're doing whatever they can to prepare for a high draft pick. So they know they're going to suck ass this year. They know that they're going to be at the bottom of the West.
I mean, considering the circumstances, I don't even think they should worry about bringing Curry back. I think him being out is just fine. Let him have this year off. Let him, get back to 100% with Klay Thompson. I would, at this point, let's be realistic. Even if he were to come back, they're still going to struggle. Their defense is atrocious. It's not that great. And in terms of them going for a high draft pick, they need to do something with D'Lo. I don't think he's gonna be that big of a piece for them. I just think they got him for this year. But I see D'Lo being an asset for them to trade for someone, a draft pick, whatever it takes. The Warriors need to be smart with this.
Yeah, man, and I don't know, dude. I mean, losing that many players. They went from having last year an all-star starting at every position to this year having pretty much just one all-star with D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, and even then, D'Lo doesn't know.
He's on a whole new team.
It's the West.
It's a whole different ball game, and I don't know. I think the Warriors are gonna. I don't think they're gonna be the worst team in the league, but they're definitely gonna be one of the worst. They're for sure gonna be one of the highest contenders for the number 1 pick.
I don't think, the way I would put it, I just think they're going to be one of the most disappointing teams to watch, or one of the weirdest teams to watch, because we're so used to them going into these deep runs in the playoffs, and they pretty much have a team of just guys coming off the bench, nobodies, and not to be disrespectful, but I don't know half these guys, except for Cauley Stein, and even then, he's still not enough for me to look at this team oh wow, that team is going to go really far into the playoffs. But it's just kind of one of those teams where you look at them and it's what the hell happened over the course of a year.
Yeah, and it's crazy because with their original kind of team of pretty much the big four of Curry, or the big three of Curry, Green, and Thompson, and then transitioning to the KD era, then getting DeMarcus Cousins, it's crazy how they were able to build up everything, and then now the first year after falling, they're not falling, dude. They're dipping. They're diving.
They're there.
Yeah,
they already fell.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy. I mean, they lose Klay Thompson in the playoffs last year. They lose DeMarcus Cousins and KD due to injury and signing somewhere else in free agency. Stephen Curry breaks his hand in the first couple of games of the season. Draymond Green now is going to miss a couple of games. And I feel like it's a lot of pressure on D'Angelo Russell. I feel like he has a really good chance of proving what he's worth. Now the door's wide open. He's for sure going to be the number 1 scoring option because Draymond Green can't shoot for shit.
No, obviously, and I get what you mean. He for sure is going to be the number 1 scoring option.
Yeah.
But I don't think he can handle, especially a franchise like the Warriors where there's such high expectations.
For sure, yeah.
With a coach like Steve Kerr, I don't he's gonna ball out for sure, but I don't think he's gonna. He won't be able towards the end. He's just not gonna be able to handle all of it, and it's just gonna end miserably for them.
Yeah, and I mean, he came in knowing he was going to be a temporary number 2 option, and once Klay Thompson, well, not temporary, it was going to be for the whole season, but the second that Klay Thompson comes back, he knows that he's going back to not going back, but he's going to be the 3rd option scoring wise, and then now he's the number 1 person on the team basically. In terms of running the offense and in game, he's going to be the leader. Draymond Green is going to be. I feel like Draymond Green is going to be more of the defensive coach, defensive leader, defensive person in the locker room that's going to be telling the players, having that grit, having that history with the team, having that destiny. He's going to be the more respected player. But I feel like with if Curry's not going to be traveling with the team, which I have no idea if he is. I know he wasn't at the last game, but I don't know if he's going to be traveling with them or not. But if he's going to be absent there and Klay Thompson's going to be absent, then D'Angelo Russell has a really good shot to proving to people that maybe the trade for him was worth it. Maybe that he has what it takes to be in the Warriors, or that he is the player that he'll take on whatever role possible, whether it's being the number 3 option, the number 2 option, the number 1 option, being the leader, stepping up when he needs to.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I think he can, but it's not going to be easy, especially in the West.
Yeah. So I mean, it sucks how the the Warriors have fell down this year, and I mean, I love their team. What I didn't like about them was that they were in the finals every year, like it was just them and LeBron. But I still love their team. I loved I love that we were part of the dynasty of it. We got to witness it.
And we got to witness it from beginning to end, which is awesome
from beginning to end.
So and another thing that we kind of touched up on earlier, if the Warriors are smart, I would do, like I said, I would do something with D'Lo, trade for an asset, get suck ass, get the number 1 pick, and do what the Warriors do best and establish a well organized team through the draft, and not worry too much about players that have a couple years left on them just for the sake of having star power on their team. That's just not who the Warriors are in the sense of their identity.
That's true. I mean, if they can do that, I think that's a good plan. They're gonna be at the bottom of the West anyway. If they just get rid of D'Angelo Russell, they're able to trade him and get 1 or 2 for sure, like getting a draft pick for the next year's draft or the year after's draft, and you're able to build the team around the stars that are coming back, because Stephen Curry for sure. I mean, Stephen Curry's going to be out for at least 3 months. 3 months from now is only until January, or pretty much February.
Yeah.
Playoffs start in April. So it's going to be. I think that they're not going to have him come back this season, obviously just for health reasons, and there's no point in bringing him back, especially if you want to get a high draft pick. But the reason I'm saying that is because next season they're going to have all their stars back. Draymond Green's going to play for the rest of the season this year because the issue's not very pressing. But Klay Thompson is still due to come back next year, and he might not come back right at the beginning of the year because with those types of injuries, it's very case by case. But if they're able to build a team with a young core around, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, who's obviously not going to go anywhere, and just losing D'Angelo Russell for the year, I think that's a really good strategy if they're able to get 1 or 2 draft picks for him, and maybe even getting a player just to replace, Curry or D'Angelo Russell's shooting abilities, playmaking abilities, because then they're just not really going to have no one.
Yeah, you touched up on all the points, and just the last thing I'm going to say about it that I mentioned earlier is if they're smart, just leave Steph Curry out for the entire season.
Yeah.
There's literally no point in bringing him back just to take a chance of making the playoffs, knowing that you're not gonna go into a deep playoff run. And just do your thing, do something with D'Lo, figure out the draft pick situation, get your stars healthy, and just imagine they're gonna come back the next season, the following season, hopefully, with their star players healthy and a young core around them. That would be sick.
That would be awesome, man. So, I mean, that was our little kind of review and reminiscing of the Warriors. Let's get down to the standouts.
Standouts of the week. You want to start? I think I started off last week, so you start off this week.
So I got 3 players this week.
All right.
I didn't go with any teams this week, but one player doing great, and I love the style of Andre Drummond, man. The Detroit Pistons.
A walking double-double.
Bro, I love him, man. I love, you know it. I love old school type centers, big men, get in the paint, dirty basketball, get physical.
He's really slept on, honestly. I still think that a lot of people forgot about him.
I think he was slept on before threes took over. You know what I mean? Because threes took over. Maybe I want to say that threes became super important during the Miami Heat dynasty.
I think towards the end of it.
I honestly think that
the last year that LeBron was here, that was when the threes really mattered.
I feel like it really started when Ray Allen made that 3-pointer.
Yeah, for sure. No, that exactly. So the following year, the following year
we lose, and it was just all about Dan. In that series, we had Dan. Not us, not like
The
us,
Spurs.
but I mean like the Spurs had Danny Green. We had Ray Allen. It was Mike Miller, Rashard Lewis. We had such a 3-point team that LeBron made, and I guess like LeBron's kind of responsible for starting like the whole 3-point wave.
Yeah.
But then it was solidified when Stephen Curry was really starting to blow up, and it was around that time that Stephen Curry was blowing up.
The year right
3-point
after,
wise.
the year right after is when the Warriors won the championship.
He was already breaking records and stuff, and then after that, the Warriors started winning. Stephen Curry breaks records for most 3-pointers in a season, in a game, all this stuff, and now the league is 100% on 3-pointers. I think even before that, Andre Drummond was slept on. Even in the times where the All-Stars in the All-Star game were DeAndre Jordan, Andre Drummond, Dwight Howard, all these old school centers that, played the old school way, that don't shoot at all, I felt like he was even still slept on like a popular standpoint, because he was still an all-star a couple times, but people weren't really appreciating his style of play just because it wasn't exciting. But I'm a big fundamental guy. I love Tim Duncan. I love that old school kind of play style.
Yeah.
And, he's playing it and he's doing great at it. So the reason I pick Andre Drummond is because in the last 4 games, he's averaged, so I'm going to say them, points, rebounds, steals, and blocks. 21, 22, 0, and 1. 25, 24, 2, and 3. 25, 20, 3, and 5. 15, 24, 2, and 2. So he's averaging this year a career high in steals and blocks. He's ranking it up defensively. His rebounds are off the charts. I mean, he's averaging, in the last 20 games alone, he got more than 20 rebounds a game.
And how old is he? Like, entering his 30s? I don't even know how old he is.
He must be entering his 30s because he's been in the league for a while. And, I mean, he's just been playing, like, crazy, especially with the absence of Blake Griffin. He's picking up the slack. He's picking up especially the offensive pressure, and he's scoring more, which is great. So that's why I love him. The Pistons are doing good, and that's why I picked him as one of my players. Moving up,
he's 26.
Andre Drummond's 26.
That's what I'm getting here.
There's no way.
Born August 1993.
Oh my god, dude. So he's
young as shit.
Bro.
Oh my dude,
So
that's
he's been good for like a while then.
That's really scary. And I think that's kind of like a case of like an Anthony Davis on a really crappy organization. Like when he was on the Pelicans, like everyone knew he was good, but no one really talked about him that much.
Yeah, that's true.
So, dude, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's crazy.
So I'm looking here, he came into the league in 2012. Damn.
Really? I thought he was like...
So he was balling out, man. Let me tell you, dude.
Well, yeah, actually, no, I do remember him coming into the league around that time.
He was balling out. I mean, in his first year in the league, he averaged 7.6 rebounds and 7.9 points. Damn. So, I mean, just like rebound-wise, and he was playing 20 minutes a game, and then the next year, after that, he averaged 13 rebounds, then 13 again, 14.8, 13.8, 16.0, and then right now he's at a steady... Oh no, and then last year it was 15.6. So I mean,
Jesus, man, that's crazy.
And he was an all-star in 2016 and 2017, I believe. So 2016, 2018. So I mean, I still think he's underrated.
No, for sure.
Yeah, he's an amazing player, but that's why I picked him for.
He balled out this week.
And the Pistons are playing decent. You know what I mean? Especially the fact that they don't have, they're 3-5, but they're still missing Blake Griffin. But he's gonna be coming back soon. Yeah, I believe so.
That dynamic duo, though.
And they're missing, a lot of other players, with Reggie Jackson and yeah.
And they have Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose is balling out too. So my next person, Washington Wizards, Isaiah Thomas, man. I picked him because of grit and because he knows how to play the game. I love him. I'm a huge fan of him. But the Wizards told him. He said that the Wizards looked at him and said, they looked him in the eyes and said, we're going to give you an opportunity. We're going to give you a chance. And that's all he needed. In the last week, he's been averaging 14.5 points, 7 assists, and half a steal.
Dude, I'm about to cry. That's awesome.
Dude, I love him. Dude, he's doing great. Obviously 14.5 and 7 assists isn't like all-star numbers, superstar numbers, but he's Isaiah Thomas. He's an amazing player, and he's he has a great opportunity being in the Wizards with John Wall being injured for pretty much the rest of the year. He has a great starting position, a great role. You know, they're not an amazing team. They're going to be one of the worst teams, but I mean, he's doing great. And what I hope for him is that he's going to bring up his stock and hopefully be traded somewhere for a good team, and hopefully the last trade of his career, or sign with a good contender in the free agency. That's what I want for him. You know, I don't want him to stay with some shitty ass Wizards.
No, yeah, but I will give Wizards credit where credit is due, and I feel like they really do treat their players the way that they want to be treated. Why do you think Bradley Beal signed that extension? I'm pretty sure they talked to him, and the way that they talked to Isaiah Thomas, I don't feel like a team since. I mean, I don't really respect the Celtics for what they did to him, but like since the Celtics, for him to be
like disrespected the way he was,
that confidence again,
yeah,
and for them to tell him, hey, like. We're giving you a chance, of course. Like, yeah, 14 points a game isn't gonna be, you know, all-star numbers. But when was the last time we've seen Isaiah Thomas average or given a chance? You know.
Exactly. Yeah, and he was bouncing from team to team. He was injured. You know, there were so many factors that were going into it, and the league just wasn't respecting him. But I'm really glad that now he has a chance, and he's doing good with it. Another thing too. The Wizards have been not doing, so here's my case. The Wizards are 2-4, but in the last 4 games, they're 1-3. They lost by 2 against the Spurs, 1 against the Rockets. They had a really bad loss against the Wolves of 22, but then they beat the Pistons 115-99.
And that Rockets game was really close.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal scored 40. He went for 40 plus
that day. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know the stats from that game, but. I mean, Isaiah Thomas is a big factor in that, and I'm really happy that they, even though they're not winning, they're still close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Bradley Beal against the Rockets, 46 points, bro. He dropped 46.
That's crazy. He went off.
Dude.
He got that money and he said, "Boy."
So yeah, and my third player. Someone that I talked shit about in the first episode about the team breakdowns.
Who was it?
Gordon Hayward.
I was going to say, if you didn't put Gordon Hayward on this list, I would have slapped you. Because he's been, bro,
he's been balling out. The Celtics are 5-1 this year.
What I say, it takes time to get, to heal from an injury like that.
And this year, now he's still not worth
he's
the
still
contract,
not worth, but he's still improving.
But he's playing way better. It's not a Chandler Parsons situation. It looks like it's not a Chandler Parsons situation.
And it shouldn't be.
So in the last week, he's averaged 24.3 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 6.3 assists, shooting 65% from the field in the last week.
Bro, and people forget that he has a really tight relationship with his coach.
Yeah.
And mind you, like, it's not like that chemistry is there. It's just his ability to play wasn't because of the injury. And I said it. Give him time. Look what happened with Paul George. He was silent for a couple years, and then last season had an MVP season.
Yeah.
So it just takes time. I feel like they're gonna take care of Gordon Hayward. They didn't pay him all that money for nothing. At the end of the day, he couldn't control the injury. So I feel like now, for time to come, he's gonna prove that he can go back to that Gordon Hayward of old, and I'm seeing it, man.
Dude, yeah, man, he's had a great year so far. I mean, even though we're only a couple games in, 6 games in, but he really impressed me in the last week. I love seeing him play. Like I loved his play style in Utah, and
Dude, yeah.
I'm glad he's shutting me up. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, and I wish he would have came to the Heat, but that's another story. For
yeah, we got Jimmy Butler now though, so
yeah, trust the process.
But yeah, dude, Andre Drummond, Isaiah Thomas, Gordon Hayward, man, my 3 standout players of the year. I mean, of the year,
shit,
of the week.
I'm getting bold now. So my 3 standout players, 2 are players, 1 is a team, and 1 of them is actually returning from last week. I just had to put them on there because, like I said, I talked shit about them last week, but they're shutting me up, and that is the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns.
Tell them who they be, bro.
Bro, the Phoenix Suns are shutting me up because let me just tell you this: they've won against teams like the Sixers, the Clippers, and the Warriors. That's That's the fucking Suns, bro. And on top of that, you know, Devin Booker is averaging 26.1 points a game on 53.5 field goal percentage, and he dropped 40 on the Sixers. Trust the process. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm proud of this team, and they don't even have DeAndre Ayton yet because, you know, Boyan's Annie's, but it doesn't matter.
Dude, just imagine if they did have him. You know what I mean? Like, they would be such an insane
DeAndre
team.
Ayton versus Embiid, that would have been a show.
That would have been great, especially with Embiid like having all that attitude and shit. Yeah. Well, he probably wouldn't have played. Was it during like it could have been during the suspension? You know what I mean?
I'm saying, what if he didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if he didn't?
Dude, that would have been insane. And I mean, Ricky Rubio, man, he's averaging 8.5 assists. He's not skipping a beat on playmaking. The last time he averaged anything close was in 2016, which was 9.1. So I mean, he's, like I said, his playmaking ability is for sure gonna be helping that team. And with DeAndre Ayton coming back, you know, in the next 20 games or whatever, I really hope he's gonna be catching a lot of lobs.
No, yeah. So that's what I gotta say about the Suns. Keep doing your shit. I hope you guys could continue to develop and keep shutting me up. The next player was on one of the teams that I listed last week, but I didn't actually name him himself, and that's Luka Doncic. Bro, he's 20 years old. Let that sink in. Younger than both of us.
He's 20 years old, and he's the next Dirk Nowitzki, bro. I think so. In terms of like international stardom,
it's insane, dude. He had consecutive triple doubles. One of them against the Lakers.
That's disgusting and ridiculous, bro.
Averaging 10.3 rebounds. 10.3 rebounds. This dude, 9.5 assists.
In the last 2 games, he got 15 assists.
Dude, he's like, if he could keep playing like this, I'm not saying he's gonna average a triple double, but if he keeps playing like this, he could. He just could.
He's blowing up, man. I mean, I love him. He's such a young player, and he's been playing professionally since he was, I think, like 16.
Dude, and the crazy thing is, a lot of people were saying, like, a lot of people were having eyes on him because, you know, sophomore slump is a thing. You know,
for sure, yeah, and with good reason too.
But this guy is putting up these numbers and not skipping a beat against teams like the Lakers, and dueling with LeBron James.
Yeah, and
that's crazy.
Like I said, you know, he had big games. So in the last 2 games, so against the Lakers, he averaged 31 points, 13 rebounds, and 15 assists. And in the last game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, he averaged he got 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 15 assists. Dude. Those are ridiculous triple doubles. That's not like a Rajon Rondo triple double. That's 12 points.
No, that's
10
just
assists.
Skill. That's skill.
Dude, doing these are LeBron James triple doubles. These are fat triple doubles.
20 years old. At 20 years old, dude.
This year alone, so through 6 games, he's averaging 26.7 points, 10.3 rebounds, and 9.5 assists. He's almost averaging a triple double, and he's averaging this year's shooting on 46% and from the field and 35% from 3-point range.
I don't understand how this kid gets 8. I can't fucking understand it.
I don't know, dude.
I don't get it.
He's insane, dude.
Like on like I see like Instagram comments and shit like saying, "Oh, this he's a bust, bro." How the fuck is he a bust? Explain to me.
There's
please.
No way.
Explain to me, please. In basketball terms. But that's what I gotta say about Luka. Kid is balling out, and the fact that he's 3 years younger than me, it just trips me out sometimes.
Bro, it's weird.
It's fucking weird. But last but not least, the last player I have on my list, we just talked about him, LeBron James.
LBJ, man.
For good reason. 3 triple doubles in a row in year 17. And you know what? He is leading the league in assists with 11.1 assists a game.
I didn't know that stat.
He is leading the league in assists right now.
Dude, he's just ridiculous, man. Like, I mean, even on the team he's on, like, being on the Lakers, yeah, they have, like, a lot of great pieces, but it's still hard to be averaging that much as a small forward. You know what I mean? I know he's LeBron James, and he, you know, has problems with coaches. He normally gets coaches that kind of confined to his play style and things like that. He's normally kind of doing most of the coaching, but, I mean, LeBron James, dude, on paper, he's going down as, you know, the best.
Dude, and he's averaging 26.1 points a game in year 17.
Yeah, there's no signs of stopping.
And like I had in my bold predictions, he can't possibly have an MVP year. And everyone like, let's look at this at face value. Let's take away the hate because I know sometimes we get caught up in the what Instagram has to say or what Twitter has to say and just the culture of just hating on someone. But let's just look at this at face value. There's no stopping LeBron.
Yeah.
There's never gonna be another LeBron James.
There's no way that people can stop him.
And
there is no way to stop him. The same way that the Pistons had to figure out a way to stop Jordan in the playoffs, and they kind of figured it out. The thing is that you can't play that type of hard knock basketball anymore, that physical basketball anymore.
Dude.
So there's nothing you could do. He's gonna drive it in and make it in every time.
Dude, 3 triple doubles at his age.
It's insane.
And against the Dallas Mavericks, he went off. And
he's 34 years old, man.
I've always said this. Well, coming into the season at least, this is the hungriest LeBron has been since his first championship in Miami. I would say so.
I think so because now I feel like a big part of what he wants his legacy to be is not just having rings, but his first priority was to get a ring.
Yeah.
He wanted it to be at home just because he happened to be drafted by his home team, but he knew he couldn't do it there. So he wanted to act. He wanted just a ring, no matter where it was. He came down to South Beach. He came to Miami with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. He gets 2. His contract is up. He doesn't re-sign. He decides, now it's time for me. I've proven myself to be the best player to ever play. Now I need to go back to Cleveland. They're begging for me, even though they burned all my jerseys and shit. Everybody knew that he wanted him there. Who doesn't want the best player in the world? He knew that he was going to do whatever he wanted with the organization, with the front office. They're going to let him have full control. So he went back. He went back to Cleveland after what was it? His second year there, right? Yeah, his second year there. He wins the championship for the Cavaliers. Yeah, because
he lost the first year.
Yeah, he lost the first year. He brings a championship to Cleveland.
And wait, I gotta say, he would have won that first championship with Kyrie and Kevin Love.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, he would have had 2 rings in Cleveland. But we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. But, I mean, I kind of didn't want him to win the ring in Cleveland because he left.
Hey, but
I'm glad he got it. He got it for his hometown. Now he has something to prove. Last year, he missed the playoffs for the first time in how many years? 15 or something? Or first time in his...
Well, it doesn't matter. It's been a long fucking time.
Yeah, a long fucking time. I mean, after going to the finals for 8 years in a row...
That's mentally and physically straining.
And a lot of people forget, too, he was in the finals once before.
In 2007.
Yeah.
Against the Spurs.
Yeah, so he's been to the finals 9 times out of... I mean, just the fact that he's been to the finals 9 times and has only played 17 years in the league, that's insane.
Dude, and it's not like... Okay, I don't want to make this into another segment, but I'm just going to say this. LeBron James has played quality teams in the playoffs, and I understand that Jordan has 6 rings. This is really bold of me to say, but I'm just going to fucking say it. The competition back then wasn't the same as it is now. I mean, I understand that back then, basketball was a lot more gritty, but, like, let's really look at who Jordan... Did Jordan face any legends? If we really look at it at face value.
I think...
Like, look how many legends LeBron has faced. We don't talk about that.
Well, dude, Jordan faced so many legends, man.
Yeah, but KD,
Karl Malone, John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, and Dennis Rodman when he was part of the Bad Boys, and then Dennis Rodman played with him.
Yeah, but fuck, dude, like, I just feel like LeBron has
Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, bro.
Yeah, but another thing, like, that's not really one.
They were also on the tail end, though.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. But LeBron has played through 8 straight finals and has adjusted his game every single year.
That is something crazy. He played so much differently with the Cavs his first go around. Then he modified his game for the Heat where he really got a 3-point shot.
And he lost it because he had to adjust his game again.
Yeah, and then...
It's crazy.
And he's just, he knows how to modify his play style for the game. The thing is that just because he's LeBron James and he has that superstar talent, he's going to be an MVP any year.
Dude, like...
And then, so going back to his goals, after he brought a ring to Cleveland back to home, he knew that last year he wasn't going to make the playoffs. The team was rebuilding, but he knew that he was going to get Anthony Davis. He knew he was going to get somebody. And I feel like now that he knows that he has a solid team that he can win a championship with, right now he's back on championship grind mode.
Dude, yeah. And he had a whole summer's rest.
A whole summer's rest. He's dedicated. He knows that he wants to bring a ring to the most, I don't even know the word for it, man. Like the most, pretty much, honestly, the most important franchise in the NBA.
Yeah.
The most historical behind the Celtics, or tied with the Celtics.
And think about this. They haven't had a ring since Kobe. And it's been a while since Kobe has been in the league.
It's been a while since Kobe won a ring.
Exactly. And the fact that, and I understand a lot of, let's fucking, Lakers fans need to stop talking shit. They don't like LeBron. But obviously they have to like him now because they're on this team. That's just the reality.
He's contributing to their city.
But if LeBron James could win a ring in Hollywood,
that would solidify his dynamicness, his greatness, his talent, his adaptability, his basketball IQ knowledge, or his basketball know-how. It's just gonna prove that no matter where he is, he can take you to the finals. And LeBron James has technically played with 3 different teams, but on 4 different stints. Or 4 different times.
In different time periods where he had to adjust his game.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is that, he had the Cleveland Part 1, Miami, Cleveland Part 2, Lakers. He's gone to the finals in every single one of those stints and has won a championship for 3 out of those 4 stints.
Yeah. Well, I even think that there's 2 parts to the Miami thing. I feel like his first year in Miami, looking back on it at least, he was still Cleveland LeBron. He wasn't Miami LeBron.
That was when he was really adjusting everything.
Yeah, he was still Cleveland LeBron. But if you just look at 2011 to 2012, it is 2 different players.
Exactly.
2 different freaking players. 2011 LeBron was still young, and he still was.
Yeah, he was only 4 years into the league. He was still a young player, but he was LeBron. You know what I mean? He had that role.
Yeah, exactly. And,
But it's just the team that he was with. He took a no-name team to the finals against the Spurs. The fucking Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Greg Popovich in their prime. And, that's just what happened. You know what I mean?
No, and then if we really look at it, and it's with his time in Miami, I just kind of like talking about Miami LeBron. So I'm just going to go on a tangent right now. But he went against a Dirk Nowitzki team that had probably one of the teams in one of the weirdest but loved teams in NBA history. That was an underdog team.
Yeah.
If we look back on it, that's gonna be one of the teams.
For sure, they're known to being one of the most no-name teams to ever win a ring, with pretty much nobody on the roster.
Yeah, and then he went against the West. I mean, I understand they weren't the players they were before, but just to say history-wise,
they went against history-wise, they went against an insanely talented young trio that all went on to be MVPs.
Exactly. That's insane. And then went against the gritty, determined,
fundamental
team in the Spurs. Which,
systematic.
To me, that was
methodic.
My favorite finals ever, because that was true gritty basketball that we're probably never going to see again.
I feel like that was
an end of an era.
Transition. Yeah, that was a transition from... Because at that time, we were the young team. We were the new play style.
Even though it's like statistically speaking, we were the second oldest team in the league. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, but we were going against. It was Eric Spoelstra, who's a young coach, going with LeBron James, who at the time, I mean, it's crazy to think about, but from 2010 to 2014, if LeBron James is 36 now, dude, he was 28 to 31. He was really young. He was in his prime. His best years were in Miami.
No, I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Fuck that shit. But having LeBron James at his prime, still a great young player. Chris Bosh, who's an amazing young player, did so much for Toronto and for the Miami Heat, and playing that smaller role. Dwayne Wade, who was the number 3 shooting guard of NBA all time, just behind Jordan and Kobe.
Which is insane to me.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean, I think he has... I think he's tied for 2. Because fuck
He's
Kobe.
tied... No, I want to say fuck Kobe because, Kobe's a legend. But...
Fuck Kobe.
but I do think that it's... I think...
I feel like he did so much
his
more statistically wise.
No, I feel like Dwayne Wade got robbed of longevity. Well, he was still playing pretty solid, in his last year. But in terms of like, I feel like his play style from young really took a toll on his body really fast.
Yeah.
So that kind of like, and what pisses me off is that fucking these Chicago Bulls fans, these Indiana Pacers fans back then were saying, "Oh, the D Wade's old, bro. He clapped your cheeks. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Yeah.
It's D Wade. He's a god. Like, you can't stop him.
Well, which is crazy too, because like going against like the Bulls, I'm gonna like loop back to the Spurs thing, but going against the Bulls and the Pacers, they were younger teams than us because we were one of the older teams. So they were younger teams with faster play styles than us, more modern basketball style, but we still whoop them. Then going to the finals, we go against the only team that's older than us, basically, and
we win by luck. We won by luck, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, Ray Allen, Game 6.
That was. I love our team, and that team was probably one of the most iconic teams in NBA history.
Yeah.
That duo with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh is iconic. That will go down forever as one of the best teams in the NBA history. But, dude, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's crazy.
Dude, and I mean, like, just I really feel like that was a transition from like a new age of basketball, because Greg Popovich, even though he did win the year after, like their play style still got them the ring the year after, I feel like that was just really kind of the height of balanced basketball, in the terms of where 3-pointers were important, but you still had to drive it in, you still had to post up, you still had to do mid-range, and that was kind of the last, that was pretty much the last series that had, like that 2014 series was the last series in the finals that had that play style, because in the year after it was Warriors and Cavs, and they had a 3-point style.
Yeah.
They had the way faster pace. The Warriors became the new young team with the superstar talent, and the league just completely changed.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I don't like to reminisce in the past too much, but if you look back at that
like we've been doing the past 20 minutes.
Yeah. But in the 2010 eras, like, the playoffs were just a lot more exciting. They were good. Like, I know,
which I think we'll go back to it this year.
No, it
would. I think it's gonna happen.
It's gonna transition into that again.
Yeah.
But what I mean by that is just, I know nowadays there's game 7s, but it's blowout. But back then, if you really think about it, it was till the last second.
Yeah.
Every freaking
like
game.
It wasn't like normal games where it's like, okay, you won by 10, you won by 15.
No, this
bro.
would
like,
go
you
to
won
like
by
the
2, you won by 1.
Bro,
you got tied and you went to double OT.
Dude, that Boston series versus Miami and when they went to game 7 and LeBron went off in game 6, that will never happen again. That will never happen again.
I want that style of basketball, you know what I mean? And I feel like it has to do with also like the transition of the game, you know what I mean? Like way faster pace, higher scoring, more 3-pointers. If you think about it, if you're playing a team and you each get off 10 shots, that's potentially, on an average basis of like, just let's say they're all 2-point shots, that's 20 points.
Yeah.
But now with the whole new age of so many threes, back then you would take, out of those 10 shots, only 1 or 2 would be 3-pointers. Now 5 or 6 of them are 3-pointers. So I feel like that also has to do with the games ending with such a big margin, because if one team is taking, let's say they both take 6 3-pointers, but one of them makes 2 and the other one makes all 6, that's 6 points versus 18.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where if it was, that's a 12-point difference. Where if it was 2-pointers, it goes to fucking whatever that is. You know what I mean? It would go from 12 to 4.
Yeah.
Which is only an 8-point difference. So it's an insane difference.
Bro, and I remember back then when threes were exciting to watch. Like, a 3 was big.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, this guy shot 6 threes in the game.
Bro, I was thinking about this the other day. I remember when Taco Bell, every time a player would do a triple-double, you would get a free taco. They can't do that shit now.
Yeah, because
Russell Westbrook averages triple-double. LeBron James, Luka Doncic both got triple-doubles and shit.
It's just not, the defense isn't there. It's
not
not as prevalent as before.
Yeah.
And that's why guys like we said earlier, Andre Drummond hasn't fallen off, but people think he's fallen off because we don't care. We don't view that as valuable anymore. It's kind of like having a really nice car, like a really nice iPhone, and the next year the newer iPhone comes out. It's still a good phone. I have the XR still, and the 11 came out, and then the freaking XX Max came out, and our attention goes to that, but we forget about he's still a really good player. It's still an iPhone.
Yeah.
It was a weird freaking analogy to make.
Yeah,
but
I get you though.
But it makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, that's why LeBron James was a standout player this week.
We talked about his whole career in 20 minutes.
But yeah, man. Those are our standout players for the second week in the NBA. And now, have you guys been seeing that shot clock on the court?
It's cool, but it's not needed.
It's cool, but it's not needed. So me and Jay were thinking, what are things that we want to see? So we just wrote down. We're doing this quick segment. So things that we want to see in live NBA games on the screen that we think will be helpful, because that new shot clock, it's super cool. I like it.
It's cool. Like, it's kind of like a gimmick. It's like buying, like, I make weird fucking analogies, but it's like buying a 3DS and turning on a 3D. Who the fuck does that?
True.
It's literally
it's
what
kind
it
of
is.
just showing, like, look what I can do. You know what I mean? And I think they got jealous at the NFL because they've always had that line on the field
But it
for
makes
years.
sense there.
Yeah, it makes sense there. But I mean, with that kind of tech, you know, we wrote down some things that we want to see. So, do you want to start off? You want to go? You want to do like 1 and 1?
I mean, I didn't really write down much because there's not really much to talk about.
Dude, I went in on this, bro.
Yeah, because you're into this shit.
Yeah, I'm into tech.
You're balls deep into this industry.
Analytics and statistics and everything. Yeah, bro. I'm a digital designer. Work for an agency, so like.
Yeah,
I
look
love
at you, bro.
statistics and
Fucking
shit.
big dick contest.
But
I'll go first, I guess.
Okay, go, bro.
So, I mean, it's not really helpful. It's just really cool. Like, it's just to like
Yeah.
fuck around. But it would be really cool if they had like an animation for the teams. Like, for example, like if they score, like, you know, like their little logo in the box, like it does an animation or something.
Yeah.
That'd be really freaking cool.
Damn, bro. Do they not do that already? I feel like 2K does it. Maybe that's why.
No, 2K doesn't do it.
Really?
2K just kind of puts like the name. Like,
Yeah,
it's
true.
like-
I feel like it just like in live
I'm
games.
talking about like a real, like, for
Yeah.
example, like if the Celtics like make a point, the Leprechaun dances, or if the Heat make a point, the flame goes up. Like
Damn,
for the
I didn't think
Thunder,
of that. That's super good.
the thunder strike would happen, or for example, like the Denver Nuggets, like rubble would come down because they're in the mile high city or something like that.
Bro,
that would be really cool.
that would be cool.
Like unique.
That's
or
a
like,
cool little like detail that.
Or like,
I mean, they have the animations already.
I'm pretty sure. No, they have the animations. Like, for example, like
for the intros and stuff.
like the transitions from commercials
Yeah.
and stuff. But they don't use like
Yeah, they just gotta put it in the score.
if they were to use that in game, that'd be so cool. Like, for the Windy City, like for Chicago Bulls, the wind, like the wind will come out of the Bulls' nose or something
Yeah.
like that. That would be fucking cool as shit.
That would be cool. I think even like going off of that, maybe having something like a pop up. This is not one I thought about. This is one I thought about now that you're talking about it. Like on the screen, like saying like 3-pointer Bulls. You know what I mean? Like just some shit like that, or maybe having like the player, like the stat, like Lauri Markkanen 3-pointer.
Yeah,
Shit like
bro. ESPN, hire us, please, because we have the ideas. We got the sauce. Just do it, please.
Bro, one that I thought about that they did, that we talked about, they did in the finals,
The 3-point line.
the 3-point line.
Yes.
So I thought that was another thing, kind of like the shot clock. That's not like the shot clock. I thought it's better than the shot clock because it's like cool. Like you just like it's a 3-pointer. So I feel like that's a really like subconscious thing that they're like, players. This is just like my design, user interface brain thinking.
Yes.
But it's when you're watching the game, you always think like, oh shit, was that a 3? Like was his foot on the line? Oh my god, whatever. This way, like oh
Yeah.
yeah, the line lit up. It's a 3-pointer.
Yeah, like this is kind of like a nerdy touch, but like when you play 2K and you get the green, it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that
Same
is.
thing, yeah. So you just see it.
But I will say I didn't like the one thing I didn't like about that was the line would turn red and it just would look tacky.
Yeah, I feel like it needs to be branded to like the teams or like
to blend in, but when it glows.
Yeah.
Because if it's just red, it just looks tacky to me. It looks weird.
Yeah. I get it because they probably just did it red just to like make people make sure they see it. But I mean, I think it should just be the same color that it is on the court. Just make it glow or some shit. You know what I mean? Like just make it pop out. But that's something I thought was cool. Do you have another one? Cause I got a list, bro. I can go through them.
Like, in terms of like visuals, that's not like actual physical, like a visual on the screen. I guess something with the court, like kind of like how we talked about the little animations, but like something like how the NFL does it, but do it like unique to the NBA where it's not too distracting, but it's like, oh shit, that's cool. Like it's like
I get you. I don't know if they do it now.
I don't know, they don't. There's no way.
But the NFL, what they do is that when I'm watching Sunday football, I I think it's also because they have such a big field, so they have that space. What they do is that they do like a wide shot of the field, and they have a 3D scoreboard graphic that looks like it's like floating in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
The NBA could for sure do that.
No, yeah, it'd be really cool, and like it would make the games like
or the channel.
It'll
TNT,
just
ESPN.
kind of like how we were talking about earlier. Like it'll just that's how you know you're entering a new generation of basketball, where it signifies something.
Yeah.
Kind of how like the playoffs on the court was back then. Like how that dude, yes, if they brought that back, that'd be awesome. It just it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
Like it just felt different.
Yeah.
Like we look
like
back.
You see and you're like, we're in the fucking playoffs. And
yeah.
like the fucking championship trophy was always on the court in
the
finals.
That was it would say like the finals in that font.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, yes. I'm not trying to go back into the 2010s right now. I'll get the press. But I think that would be really cool because that'll transition and be like, this is what this generation is known for,
Yeah.
Like not something stupid, but you know what
those are little things that like if you see an old court or like kind of like when you see the basketball hoops in old NBA games, you're like, oh yeah, this was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like when you see that, it's like, oh yeah, this is the finals from the 2000s.
Yeah, and honestly, like even though it's kind of like a hard pill to swallow, but like technology is the thing now.
Yeah. So
we would look back on it and like, damn, like that's when we really got into technology. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, dude. And so I'm gonna go through all my shit, like all the things because I thought about it, and I don't know. I think there's some pretty good ideas. So going off of the 3-point line, I think also when a 3-pointer shot or like a crazy shot or something, they should have a graphic of the actual line the shot took, the actual arc, and kind of like stats. Like, for example, in football, when they do a field goal, they say it went up this high, the wind was this. I mean, in basketball, there's no wind, but the wind was this. They give you like a ton of stats, and they even say, okay, if he did a field goal from the 35-yard line, they'll say, yeah, but with this kick, it would have been good from, if he kicked it the same exact way, it still would have been good from 54 yards. Something like that. Something where the 3-point shot, it goes in and they just have some sort of stats. I mean, you can't really do like distance and stuff, but I don't know, maybe showing how far from the basket they were, showing the arc. I mean, imagine seeing a Rashard Lewis arc versus a Ray Allen arc or a Sean Marion arc. It would be super cool. Like that's something like sports science should. But
yeah, it put it into perspective how, like, for example, like I guess Ray Allen he has a really like high arcing shot.
Yeah.
So like it's not easy to do. So it'll
or like
put
Jamal Crawford, how he has a crazy high arc shot.
And it'll put it, like, I get what you mean, like, it'll put, like, it's kind of nerdy, but it'll just put into perspective how hard those shots are. Yeah. And that's what makes them that type of player.
Or maybe on, like, a replay thing, it doesn't have to be, like, in-game.
No, yeah, like a replay.
Yeah.
Kind of like in 2K, like, where it does it, like, back then, like, the vertical thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, to my next thing on my list, bro, I have it on my list, a dunk meter.
That'd be cool.
Just like in 2K. Because they never did that in real life.
Derek Jones Jr. would kill that. Bro,
yeah, like, if they can, every time there's a dunk, or like a crazy dunk, just a couple of stats that are real time. He jumped, his feet he had a 34-inch vertical, his head was 4 inches above the rim, some shit like that. Just something dumb that's good, like cool. Like, man, like the sprite replay dunk cam replay from 2K.
The disrespect.
Dude, letting it play, bro. Like, I think that's cool, and I think in an actual NBA game that'll be cool too.
Dude, and to like go off of like 2K's ideas, and I'm not trying to get sued right now, but like a player of the game, something like that. Like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like the MVP of the game, and they'll put like their stats and like again to put into perspective what good of a night they went. Because like if we really think about it, we really don't know how much someone's really scored until the end because we're so into the game. But just to know like during the game, like damn, he's like has that much points, and it's only the second, third quarter. That'd be really cool.
That would be cool. Like I feel like. Sorry guys.
Need some water.
I ran out. It's a long pod, bro.
I'm gonna pull a Joey Diaz on you and get water from the fridge.
Bro, but that'd be super cool too. Like having a player of the game, or having, I don't know, maybe like on TNT when they're playing like the marquee games, they could have like a TNT player of the night or something. That'd be cool.
Bro, speaking of TNT, like I just thought about this right now. Like imagine, like let's say they have a pre-recorded celebrity like a Snoop Dogg. Because obviously they're busy. Yeah. And they go over the replays and stuff. Like, oh shit, that was good. Like it'll be programmed like to like make sense, Yeah. That'd be really cool.
That would be cool. Like kind of like when you do a new voice on a GPS.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of other things. Speed on a fast break. I feel like they don't. I feel like they don't have that.
That'd be cool.
That's another thing I got from the NFL.
Yeah.
So I feel like the NFL has a ton of like cool like on-screen stats. I feel like the NBA needs to catch up because like they show you like, bro, yeah, this guy ran 22 miles per hour. It's like, holy shit.
The NBA is like the Apple of like sports, and like the NFL is like the Android because they always have everything.
Yeah.
And then the NBA just takes from them.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I feel like that would be super cool too. Maybe showing a line on the court like after like the path they took and like the movement of the players. Missed and made shots on the court. So you know when you see like the graphic of the missed and made shots, they have like green circles and red X's.
Yeah.
I feel like if you could see that on the court during the game for a couple of seconds, like maybe when it makes sense for the commentators, like when they're talking about like field goal percentage or offensive consistency or something of that nature, it would be cool if on the court they can also show like while the game is going. So it's not a graphic. The game doesn't minimize while the game is going. You see on the court the actual like spots. They're not too distracting. They're not super saturated in color or anything like that. They're just kind of like faded out. I feel like that'll be a cool addition. You know, seeing like little faded green circles and red X's, so you could see while they're playing the game the actual perspective on the court. I don't know. That's just like my design coming out, but I feel like it would be super cool to see.
Bro, I didn't understand a word you fucking said.
Really?
Like I get what you mean. No, I get what you mean. But like you went so in depth. Like you just showed your artistic side.
Yeah.
Like with like the saturated. I'm like, what the fuck? I just thought it was like a cool color, you know. But no, I get not. I'm just fucking with you. I get what you mean though. Like
something that's not too distracting, because I feel like the new shot clock is kind of distracting because it's like
because it's like
interactive.
Like it's bright. It kind of looks like an app on the phone type shit.
Yeah, and it's like the whole point of like you paying attention to the game is that you're watching the game, but there's something that's moving on the actual court. You know, it's the way it's designed, and just because it's like a countdown, it's obviously going to be moving. So I feel like it's weird like that.
Yeah.
And last but not least, you know, it's a decent idea. The same concept for the made and missed shots. Let's say Klay Thompson's coming up, makes a catch and shoot 3-pointer.
Just like low, like his made and missed shots.
No, like, well, yeah, that too, but showing the hot zones for him for during the game or for the season. So the same thing with the commentators. While they're doing it, if they're talking about the I don't know like technologically or analytically they can do it like in real time, but if they're talking about, let's say, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, even though they're both fucking out, but you know, let's say they're talking about the Splash Brothers and how good they are with 3-pointers and offensive consistency and just the 3-point shot while they're playing the game. Or while they're doing an offensive, play, they show on the court their hot zones, how good they are from in the paint, in the mid range, on the right three, in the left three, in the corners, shit like that. I feel like that'd be super cool too.
No, yeah, it'd be really cool. Like,
or even like, let's say Klay Thompson makes a catch and shoot 3 from the wing, from the wing of a 3-point wing.
I just had an
that
idea.
Section lights up.
I just had an idea.
And it shows like 75% from here or some shit like that.
Yes, I was gonna say like it'd be cool like if they kept his stats from that corner the entire year, and just how like accurate, like it's like, oh fuck, like you're fucked. You have a 70% chance of getting fucked right now.
Yeah,
because he's good from that corner.
Literally,
that'd be really cool.
That would be cool, like just like a graphic on
like that.
On the
give me
actual
anxiety
screen.
Though.
Yeah,
because it'll just show you like, fuck, he's really good from there.
And I feel like going back to what you said about you don't really know how good players are until like, or how good they're performing until the end of the game.
Until the end of the game, yeah.
I feel like those stats throughout the game, a couple of these things that we've mentioned, would help people like kind of realize like, oh yeah, like he's on a tear right now. Because even when we're watching the game, you're not like, oh yeah, this guy's like shooting like, really well.
I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck how much you watch sports. You don't know everything until the end, unless you're like live tweeting and glued to your phone, which I hate being glued to my phone. You don't know till like the next day maybe. Yeah. And in the game,
you gotta look at the box score at the end of the game.
Like you would just be watching the game live, not having to look at Twitter, not having to look like that'd be really fucking cool. Like just to have it there. Yeah. And take like it'd be more interactive with the game, and it'll just like you're so focused. Like I think that'd be really like, you know, a huge upgrade to like how we see games.
Exactly, and which is like kind of like the cool thing about NFL games. They have that stuff, and you realize like you learn a lot, and you realize like, oh shit, you know, yeah, this guy's rush for this many yards and shit like that. You know what I mean? It would be so cool if they had graphics like that or kind of little call outs like that during the NBA games where it's like, yeah, man, this guy has. They mention it, but it's just not so interactive and so graphical. Everything's better when you visualize it than, hearing it from a commentator.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap, man.
That's a wrap. Well,
Episode 5.
That was a great episode, if I do say so myself. That was very reminiscent.
It was, dude. We covered the Warriors' downfall, our standout players, LeBron's entire career in about 10
in 20 minutes. His whole biography pretty much in 20 minutes.
And stuff we want to see added to live NBA games.
Yep.
So if you guys like the episode, like us, share us. We really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the episode also, we don't mind if you guys leave a review, leave us 5 stars, share it on social media. You can listen to us on
SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Music too.
Google Podcasts, and also check out our website, theopenshot.com.
Yeah, and also remember, kids, listen to your parents and trust the process.
Or maybe the Suns will beat you, I don't know.
Shit.